Hey, good afternoon. Wes here with Dub Development Consulting. Wanted to get a quick message out for what you can expect over the next several days in a daily dose of leadership. So before I go into that, if you currently aren't receiving a daily dose of leadership, you'll go to our website, and gosh, I don't even know that I've got it listed in the details of this message. I might have to edit that, but you'll go to our website and fill out the form. It's simple. And when you do that and become part of that process, you can always unsubscribe if you choose to. Not many people ever do, but it is what it is. But you also get a free 15-minute or so video lesson from John Maxwell on the art of balancing candor with care. Critical conversation, especially when it goes into the topic that I'm going to cover this week, which is basically creating a fantastic customer experience. Now, just several weeks ago in the series, I did a 4 pieces where it really walked through what that different customer experience looks like based on primary behavioral styles. We do a lot of work with the DISC model, human behavior, and so on. I'm really going to dig into over these next several days some different perspectives on that. I want to pull up a couple notes real quick to make sure I'm speaking to this, really what it looks like. So in many cases, people will reference, well, I don't deal with customers. I'm not in sales. I'm not a public-facing person. Now, one of the things I learned in quality auditing in manufacturing, we were an ISO, basically. In the automotive sector, it was QS 9000, which basically mirrored ISO, that certification, but it moved forward to a TS 16949, which is technical standard and so on. But long story short is, regardless of where you were at in the organization, you had a customer, and it was our responsibility to make sure that the customer we were serving, and it might be the next operator of the next machine, was getting a quality product. Now, I would even go so far as to say, regardless of your role in an organization, you're serving a customer. And that might be the employees on your team. You might be a supervisor, a business owner, and so on. You're serving a customer. And that customer, their experience might not be whether they buy from you or not. It might be whether they keep showing up to work, whether they find a new job, whether they perform to the best of their ability, or whatever that may look like. And that customer experience matters. Now, the reason we're going to dig into that is, gosh, we can all point to crazy experiences, and not many of them are great. And I'm going to stress that. Now, one of the things that I learned more than 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago, first time I'm in a room, a small group with John Maxwell going through the certification process. And he says, guys, if you're going to carry my name, there's something I need you to know that I expect of you. And he walks through this and he says, 80% of the people out there, they don't even meet expectations that their organization, that others have of them, whatever. He said about 15% of people, they just skate by and they meet expectations, but that's where they stop. And then there's only 5% of the population who really exceed expectations. Now, I'm going to tell you, over the last 5 years, I'd be hard-pressed to say there's 5% of the population that exceed expectations. Maybe 15% meets. That's not always the case. We're in a culture where so many people get away with not performing. And there's the everybody gets a trophy mentality. And, I've heard John address that, but just it's one of those things where participation trophies, it just makes a poor culture. I won't get into that much here, but over the next several days, I'll walk through a few different things that really hash out what is a great customer experience. Not so long ago, I referenced experiences with 2 different airlines where one was over the top and one was mediocre. And in this economy, in this market right now, with everything that's went on over the last 6-8 months with COVID, gosh, if I'm an airline, not many people are flying. I want to be that one that exceeds expectations so that person comes back to me next time, because there's not many dollars being spent there. In just about anything we look at, there's things that go on that impact the way we do. One of the things that Cindy and I see so often is responsiveness, whether it's to an email, to a text message. I'm not going to say we're perfect. Things fall through the crack. But when it's a business relationship, by golly, we need to make sure that we're responsive, because we send a message to really tell that person how important they are. Whether we do or don't respond, we're sending a message. And it might not be, it might not be an intentional message that gosh, you don't mean that much to me. When we don't respond quickly or at all, or maybe weeks later, oh, I've just been busy. Everybody's busy. When I was still working a full-time job, working 50, 60 hours a week there, and I was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week in our business, I was stinking busy too. But if I wanted to have customers that kept coming back, I better make darn sure that I was responding to them and showing them that they were important, that they matter. And we've got to send the right message when we do those things. Another thing I'll talk about it in the next several days in a daily dose of leadership is here's some of the things that we've got to maintain. We've got to set, establish, and hold a high level of expectation in our culture that customer service matters. And the way we do that, I'll address that in one of the messages. Now, before I move on, got to give you a special invitation. On Friday, November 13th, we're hosting the last time for 2020 a public virtual Live to Lead Harrisonburg experience. We've got all the Live to Lead speakers baked in. Cindy and I get to host a live private chat with the folks that are participating with us. And we also were able to do a private breakout session for that we've called Navigating Leadership Roadblocks. And that's a pretty cool thing. There's a ton of different bonuses. I'll click over to the other screen that shows that. There's a bunch of bonuses that we've built in. There's some pretty cool bonuses that the John Maxwell Company's built in. The schedule's on our website as well. You see that at the bottom. I did remember to get that posted in here, the L2L-Harrisonburg.com. We'd love to have you with us. Hope it's a great fit. You've got not just one, not two, not three, but 5 days of access after November 13th to access the content. We'll be on live from 9 a.m. Eastern until about 2 p.m. Eastern that day, hosting folks, but you'll have access to the content even following. So hope you're part of that with us. Look forward to getting these messages on a great customer experience to you over the next several days and how it really ties into communication and leadership and where those things all come together. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you soon, and share it with the people that you impact most. You've got to take this message to them so you really bring the best out in them as well. Have a great day. God bless.